MIT physicist Henry Kendall.
The worst thing that could have happened at that reactor would have been to have the reactor core get completely out of control, overheat with really soaring temperatures, melt down through the structures of the reactor into the ground with some risk of the building rupturing or some piece of the building giving way. If that had happened, there would have been a very large release of radioactivity to the air, and it would have been blown by the winds along the ground. And it could have brought radiation exposure at very serious levels, lethal levels, at distances of dozens of miles, perhaps 20 or 30 miles. It could have caused radiation sickness out to distances downwind of 60 miles or 70 miles.
Hundreds of reporters were in Harrisburg last month, among them a number of CBS News crews covering the minute-by-minute developments at 3 Mile Island. But it became quickly evident that the power plant accident would continue to be a major story, with implications long after the crisis was resolved. So in the midst of the drama, CBS Reports dispatched documentary teams not only to Harrisburg, but to the White House, Texas, and Connecticut, to examine the implications of the 3 Mile Island accident not evident at the time. We talked to many of the key players both during the crisis and immediately after. And as we watched, a disturbing pattern emerged. All those who should have had the answers all seemed trapped in an endless and frightening search for the facts.
NRC has ordered officials at 7 other similar nuclear plants around the country.
Richard Thornburg had been governor of Pennsylvania less than 3 months when he became the first elected official to confront the possibility of a nuclear catastrophe. It was the worst accident in the history of the nuclear industry. But when the first call came into Thornburg at 8 a.m. Wednesday morning, March 28th, no one suggested the dimensions of the problem. 2 hours later, the lieutenant governor was so reassured by the power plant's operator, Metropolitan Edison, that he publicly announced everything was under control. But then, that same afternoon, in a spot check at the state capitol, the governor's own inspectors picked up abnormal readings of radiation. The search for the truth was underway.